Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 8 of Plead Your Case. Today we're going to be discussing all things NBA. Before we bring things over to the racetrack with Brett Gombita, he's going to be talking about his predictions for the championship series in NASCAR taking place on Sunday. Lastly, we're going to be answering one of the most asked questions in sports. Who is in your Mount Rushmore for Pittsburgh athletes? So sit back, relax, it's time to plead your case.
Welcome in to Plead Your Case, Waynesburg Community Television's national sports debate show, now expanding outside the realm of the Power 4 sports. All our panelists will expand into the depths of professional sports while speaking on the newest sports topics each week. We're also bringing new mini-segments like I Got Something to Say, State of the Union, Pick 'em Pools, while even bringing back a popular mini-segment, the 5 and 5. Here at PYC, we plan to create debates, create memories, and the best takes possible for you, the viewer. No one is safe. Every opinion, every angle will be challenged and discussed to further detail. So sit back, relax. It's now time to plead your case.
I'm Benicio DeFalco, and join with me is Josh Clingan, making his Plead Your Case debut. Clingan, I know you're a big basketball guy. What are your thoughts on the NBA season to this point?
Well, I mean, Benicio, we talked about this. The NBA is right now at its peak. I feel like teams are right now starting to figure out their lineups and also trying to figure out who goes where. What are we gonna do with this player on the floor? What are we gonna do with what other players are doing? That's what the NBA is going through right now. And obviously we see teams right now like the Chicago Bulls, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Spurs that we're going to get into in a little bit, the OKC Thunder. I mean, all those teams are right now playing at their best to start the season. And honestly, it's great to see that we have younger teams coming up and showing that they can play.
I think some of the factors that you mentioned are very good for basketball. You mentioned the younger teams being great. The one thing that I don't agree with is the product. I think this product is terrible. There's no defense being played. For instance, you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He dropped 55 points. You know that's going to happen. He was the MVP last season. He had one of the best seasons of all time. He won the championship, finals MVP, and the MVP. But then you got other people dropping 40-plus points. You got Lauri Markkanen, who just dropped 50 last night, who forgot who he was last season. He came back from fighting for his country, and he didn't look like his former self. I know he's a former All-Star, and he's been a great player. But for a guy that barely averages 18 points throughout his career to drop 50 points at this point of the season, and then another guy, Austin Reeves, who is one of the most inconsistent players in the league, with back-to-back 40-plus point games. And when I say inconsistent, I mean we don't know what type of player he is. Is he a star in this league? Or is he just a player that benefits from being around stars around him? He's in a big market in Los Angeles. All eyes are on him. He's got Luka Doncic and he's got LeBron James on his side. He's got all the star power. All the eyes are on him. I want to know what type of player he is.
Well, first of all, Austin Reeves is one of the best third options in the game today. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. This dude, I mean, the only reason why he's been inconsistent, because he's playing with Luka and LeBron James. Both of them are ball heavy. Reeves, when Luka and LeBron are not playing, he's one of the best players in the game. It just sucks that he's with LeBron, and if Austin Reeves has his own team, he could be one of the best players in this game. And the fact that you're talking about him like that, it's kind of concerning to me.
You throw Austin Reeves on the Washington Wizards, it's the same thing we saw with Jordan Poole. You're going to get your highlights, you're going to get your high-scoring games, but is that team going to be any good? No. He's a good player. I think he can be great. He's a great third option in this league, but we saw what he did in the playoffs. Clingan, you're a Lakers fan. You saw he got exposed in the playoffs last season. But Clingan, let's jump to some other topics here. So, first of all, what are some of the biggest surprises we've seen of this?
For me, one of them, the Dallas Mavericks. I'm not happy how they've been playing so far. Four home games to open the season. You've lost to Washington. You got blown out by San Antonio. And then you just lost to OKC. I know Kyrie is out, but Anthony Davis has not been playing at his level. He needs to be the leader of that team, especially with a young guy like Cooper Flagg, who I expect will be one of the best players in this game. He will be. And just saying that with, like I said, you have AD there, Klay Thompson. You also have PJ Washington, who was a part of that finals run that they made a couple years ago with Luka and Kyrie. And obviously, Dallas, they have a little, Kyrie not being there is bad enough for them, and I hope that he comes back healthy. But AD's got to take control. He is there to win a championship. That's why Nico Harrison traded away Luka, which is still a dumb decision, but AD's there. He's got to take control. And talk about San Antonio, like I just said. Wemby is out of his mind right now. Victor Wembanyama is out of his mind right now. And they have a very, very young team as well. And they're starting to figure it out how to win. And just from what I'm seeing, I mean, look at these stats. I mean, scored 40-plus points in a single game 16 times this season. I mean, first player in NBA history to score over 100 and 15 blocks in first 3 games of the season. I mean, that's what it just says. I mean, he is a dude that he's here. And the fact that San Antonio is 4-0 right now, it's all because of him.
I'm 100% with you. Those teams have surprised me a lot. But you talked about some of the good with San Antonio. I'm going to look at some of the bad in the league. We're talking about the Boston Celtics. They are 1-3 on the season. I know they're without their star in Jason Tatum, but they still got Jaylen Brown, who year in and year out is up for All-NBA. And then you look at Derek White. He's one of the only true point guards left in this game. And then along with him, they still got Peyton Pritchard, who was the 6th man of the year last year. And then they got one of the best head coaches in the NBA, Joe Mazzulla, who is a psychopath. All that guy wants to do is win. I don't think it's panic mode for the Celtics. I think they'll be right on track and possibly a play-in team, if not a lot better than that. I think they will be a team to watch out for, and they're going to start to heat up. But I don't think it's time to panic for the Celtics. What are some teams or players to look out for as the season goes on?
I'm looking at Luka Doncic. I mean, he came out this offseason. He got in shape, ladies and gentlemen. This man got in shape because he got smeared by the Dallas Mavericks. And I feel like this is going to be a big year for him. I feel like he's going to be the money that he's worth in LA. And another player that I'm looking at, why not DeAndre Ayton? I mean, this is a guy that was the number 1 overall pick in 2019. He was, and I still feel this way, that he was booted out of Phoenix for no reason at all. He landed in Portland, just gone after 1 year, and now he's in LA with LeBron James and Luka. I mean, if that's a guy, I mean, who else do you need? I mean, someone that can get you to play at your best and the way you're supposed to be. So I'm looking at him and Luka. And I know that both of them are Lakers, but those are the couple players I'm looking at right now as far as top players I need to see.
The 2 players and teams I would look out for are the Orlando Magic with Desmond Bane. You look at the Magic and how they were set up just a season ago. They were the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA. They go out and they get Desmond Bane, a spot-up shooter and a great defender. This team, they improve every single season with Paulo Banchero. They get further in the playoffs every year. I wouldn't be surprised if this team was in the Eastern Conference Finals when it was all said and done. Another team and player to look out for, Jimmy Butler and the Golden State Warriors. Butler, the Warriors were 26-25 without Butler a season ago. They trade and get him. They're 23-8 with him. I want to see him there for a full season. He's a big playoff performer. I want to see that Batman and Robin role with Steph Curry. I think that team's going to be a lot of fun to watch this season. Now, I know it's way too early this year. The season just kicked off, Clingan. But if you had to call your shot on one particular player, who is your MVP?
Oh, it's Victor Wembanyama. It's Victor. I mean, like I said, this man is, right now, as for MVP odds, he's second. And what he's done so far through 4 games, I mean, he's basically carried the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, last year, if it wasn't for a blood clot in his shoulder, San Antonio would probably been in the playoffs, or at least in the play-in. And now that he's here, and this is year 3, I expect him to, lead this team to the playoffs. I don't have him going to the play-in as of right now. I don't think that. I think they can get a high seed in the playoffs and obviously make a run to the playoff, make a run to the finals. I could see that.
I really like that Wemby pick. I mean, he's in a category of his own at this point. But I'm going to go with somebody that's been there, done that. I'm going with Luka Doncic. For starters, year in and year out, he's in the MVP race within the top 5. Now he's on the Lakers. He's in the big market. Everyone's watching him. I know people are still watching him in Dallas, but he's along LeBron James, one of the best players in the NBA. I know LeBron's out. That gives the focal point to Luka. I know Luka just got injured. He's only out for a week, so we'll see him start to come back soon, assuming that LeBron will still be out. It's going to be big-time numbers for Luka. We saw him drop 49 right before he got injured. Last year was the year of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think this year is going to be the year of Luka Doncic. That's going to wrap up our NBA discussion, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, Brett Gombita is giving his predictions for this Sunday's championship series in NASCAR.
Welcome back into Plead Your Case. 4 drivers remain in the race for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. 2 Hendrick Motorsports drivers and 2 Joe Gibbs drivers, which means we won't be seeing a Team Penske driver win the championship for the 4th year in a row. And there's a 3-4 chance we get a first-time champion this Sunday in Phoenix. It was a disastrous round of 8 races for William Byron, but in the final race, he was in a must-win situation in Martinsville, and he got the job done. Hendrick Motorsports came prepared. Byron ran the near-perfect race. He won Stage 1, he won Stage 2, and he won Stage 3, led over 300 laps, and he had the fastest lap point, the rare 61-point race, held his opponents off on a few late race restarts, and this is the 3rd year he's made the Final Four, but he's still searching for that first championship. And the last time a driver won the Daytona 500 and a championship in the same season was in 2013, but Byron has a chance to do that this year. His Hendrick Motorsports teammate Kyle Larson joins him in the Final Four as the only championship-eligible driver that has already won a championship in his career. It's been a bit of a down year, though, for Larson's standards. He actually hasn't won in the last 23 races ever since his infamous Indy 500 and Coke 600 on the same day. He really just hasn't been the same driver. But he's been able to advance his way through the playoffs on points. Most recently, he finished ahead of Christopher Bell by 7 points on Sunday. He's never won at Phoenix in a next-gen car, but he did win the championship in 2021 at Phoenix. Chase Briscoe won 2 weeks ago at Talladega, his first ever superspeedway win, earning his first ever spot in the Final Four. It's his first season driving for Coach Gibbs. He just took over for future Hall of Famer Martin Truex Jr., and Briscoe's impressed so far. He's got the best average finish among the Final Four drivers, and a lot of that can be attributed to his great qualifying efforts. He leads the series in poles with 7, and a good qualifying run on Saturday would certainly help his odds for Sunday. And his first career win, Phoenix. It would be a full circle moment for Chase Briscoe to win this title. And last but certainly not least is Denny Hamlin, headed to his first next-gen Final Four. He leads the Cup Series with 6 wins this season, and he's arguably a top 10 driver of all time. Just recently won career race number 60 to earn a spot in the Final Four. But he's got that one major flaw in his resume. He's never won a championship in his 20-year career. There was no pressure on Denny Hamlin the last 2 weeks since he won the first race of the round of 8 to clinch a championship spot. So realistically, his team has had more time than everyone else to prepare for Phoenix. You never know how many more shots Denny Hamlin's going to get at this. He's the oldest full-time driver in the sport. And the rules are simple for this championship race. Whichever one of these drivers finishes the highest wins the championship. But this could be the final race of the current championship format because there's been a lot of chatter about getting rid of the playoff system, maybe returning to a full season points system, which hasn't been used since 2003 when it was called the Winston Cup Series. That's what Christopher Bell wants it to go back to, which he stated publicly. And funny enough, he would have won last year's championship if it was the Winston Cup format, and he'd be first this year heading into Phoenix. But before we worry about a potential rule change, let's focus on the race ahead. I'm going with William Byron to win it all. He won the pole and stage 1 in the spring Phoenix race, and in last year's championship, he finished third only to Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. William Byron knew last week that he was in a must-win situation, so I think that's how he's going to look at the championship race as well. That's all for me on Plead Your Case. I'm Brett Gombita. The NASCAR Championship race this Sunday at Phoenix Raceway, coming up at 3 p.m.
Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm Mia Hinkins, and welcome to Buell Hall, home of Waynesburg University's Department of Communication. If you visit our campus, you'll have the opportunity to attend some comm classes, enjoy lunch with our students, and watch us in action. We hope to see you here soon at Waynesburg University.
To schedule your personal visit, go to waynesburg.edu/admissions/schedule-visit. Come grow with us at Waynesburg University.
Final segment here on this episode of Plead Your Case. We're debating the Pittsburgh Sports Mount Rushmore. So we picked the 4 athletes we think that are the best and have had the most impact on Pittsburgh sports, from the Pirates, Penguins, Steelers. Maybe somebody throws in Pitt football or basketball. Not sure. I'm Michael McKenzie, Chase Maceiko next to me. We'll incorporate Brady Donovan and Stone Manges here in a little bit. We're going to get things started right away with our first athlete, and I think we're going to have some similarities on the list, some differences. We'll probably start off with a similarity. I don't know where Chase is going to go to start this one, but we'll go with your number 1 on the Mount Rushmore, the first person you put on your list.
Yeah, number 1 for me, and just the guy I have the most experience watching, Sidney Crosby. Obviously, I'm a young guy, born in 2005, Sid up just about that time, and we've seen him be absolutely dominant his whole entire career. We just saw the Big Three celebrate their 20 seasons together, and what better guy to start off the list than Sidney Crosby? All of us on the desk, around the studio, young guys, we've had the absolute pleasure of watching Sid play the game of hockey, up to 1,700 points now, multiple 3 Stanley Cups. Give me Sid. Brady?
You can't keep Sid off of this list. I mean, growing up in Pittsburgh, obviously I was born in 2006, Chase in 2005. We grew up on the Kid. I mean, everybody knows Sid the Kid in Pittsburgh. Over 28,000 minutes on the ice as a Pittsburgh Penguin. Obviously just surpassed 1,700 points. 9th player in history to do that. The 4th fastest ever. 3 cups. I mean, what more could you want? I mean, Stone, I don't know about you, but Sid the Kid's at the top for me.
Well, I'm going to go with another hockey icon here in Pittsburgh, and his name is Le Magnifique. I think is how you say it. Probably not, but it's Mario Lemieux, okay? Mario Lemieux saved the Penguins not once, but he saved them twice. When he was drafted, you could say that he saved the Penguins because they were around for about 20 years. They needed that star face to transform the face of the franchise, and that is exactly what he did. He took them to 2 Stanley Cups, and they won them both. And then he saved them as the first player owner in North American professional sports history. He bought the Penguins, and he did all this, putting up the incredible 1,700 career points while having lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and major back problems. He got the 1,700 career points in just over 900 career games. It took Crosby almost 500 more to get to that point. Not saying that Crosby isn't on my Mount Rushmore. He is, but Mario Lemieux is at the top for me.
Yeah, I think that the debate here is whether you put Sidney Crosby number 1 or Mario Lemieux number 1. This might be biased because I watched Sidney Crosby. I didn't get to watch Mario Lemieux. I would have put Sid the Kid number one. I don't think that if you put Sidney Crosby number one or Mario Lemieux number one, you're going to have much problems. There's a little debate there, but as long as those two are on the Mount Rushmore, that's completely fine. I don't think we have any more Penguins on the Mount Rushmore. Jaromir Jagr was discussed for about a minute and then tossed aside. No disrespect to Jagr. He was phenomenal, but the two Penguins on the list, Sidney Crosby and Mario Lemieux. I'm going to go Pirates next because I know we have like a pretty much consensus Steelers disagreement. The Pirates, it's pretty similar. I think one of us is going to have a difference. Chase, start us off with your Pirate.
Yeah, so you could go the obvious answer first, Roberto Clemente. I'm going to kind of move around from that, and I'm going to go to Pops Willie Stargell, the captain of the 1979 Pittsburgh Pirates, the last time the Pirates won the World Series. That team was just special. The We Are Family team, it wasn't just about baseball. It was about the city as a whole. These boys were bopping night in and night out. Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, they just represented a different time of Pittsburgh sports. And Willie was the captain of that team. 475 home runs, over 1,500 RBIs, won the World Series and National League MVP in that 79 series. So that's why I have Stargell as one of my two Pittsburgh Pirates. Brady?
Yeah, I'm going to take the obvious answer here. I'm putting Clemente on the Mount Rushmore. 1966 National League MVP, two-time World Series champ in 60 and 71. Obviously, he won the World Series MVP in that 71 series. Exactly 3,000 hits. His last hit was his last hit ever, obviously. Tragically dying. I mean, what a great human being. I mean, let's point that out, too. I mean, he died doing what he loved, and he loved helping out the community. That's what it was. Stone, pass it off to you, buddy.
Yeah, Brady Donovan said it. He was a great human being. I mean, this guy tragically passed away trying to do humanitarian work in his home country of Cuba. And not only was he a humanitarian in Cuba, he also was a humanitarian in Pittsburgh. And on the field, this guy was just as stellar. He won 12 straight Gold Gloves between the years of 1961 and 1972. I mean, this guy just embodies everything what it means to be a Pittsburgh Pirate, and I know you guys agree.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an award named after him. There's no doubt Roberto Clemente's up there. I think I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction, though. I don't think this is necessarily entirely because of the career he put together. He put together one of the best careers as a Pittsburgh Pirate, but because he put together one of the best moments in Pittsburgh sports history. I'd argue the number one moment in Pittsburgh sports history and the number one swing in baseball history. Bill Mazeroski, second baseman. I mean, 1960 World Series Game 7, you hit a walk-off home run to beat the big, bad, mighty New York Yankees. I think that swing entirely is what puts him on my Mount Rushmore. I respect Willie Stargell, the catalyst for that 1979 team, all the phenomenal things Roberto Clemente did, both on and off the baseball field. But I think I'm going to go in the different direction and go Maz because of the greatest swing, in my opinion, in baseball history, even though it happened in 1960. I know that we're in 2025 now, but that's that. I noticed, Chase, you said you have two Pirates on your list, which would mean you excluded the Steelers.
Yep.
Who'd you exclude the Steelers entirely for? Who's your second Pirate on the list?
So Roberto was my second Pirate,
Okay.
but it was a point you guys didn't really hit on. First Latin-born baseball player, Roberto Clemente. If Roberto Clemente doesn't play baseball, similar to Jackie Robinson, this is why the whole Retire 21 movement came about. We don't have the guys in the major leagues like we do today. Vlad Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, just two examples from this current World Series. Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, all these absolute superstars that run Major League Baseball today don't happen without Roberto. That's why I have him coming in as a more important figure. Not that the Steelers don't have good history. They are obviously one of the best National Football League franchises ever. Roberto's off-field meaning just has more meaning to me.
There's not really much of an argument I can make to that, even though I think I do agree that excluding a Steeler that's a bold choice.
It is.
That is bold. Bold to say the least.
So the other three of us have a Steeler on. Brady, who's your Steeler?
Yeah, I'm taking Mean Joe. I don't know how you leave Steelers off the list. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Pirates are fantastic. Well, used to be fantastic. We'll get into that and plead your case sooner or later, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm taking Mean Joe, 77.5 career sacks. No tackles, actually. Tackles became a stat in 2001. So no tackles whenever I looked it up. I'm sure he had a bunch, just not listed. 4 Super Bowl rings, obviously. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 1969 Defensive Rookie of the Year, Hall of Famer, NFL All 100 team. What more could you ask? I mean, the guy is, when you think of the Steel Curtain, you think of Mean Joe. Stone?
Yeah, but the thing about that Steel Curtain, Brady, is that there were a lot of other characters and players on that Steel Curtain. I mean, you think of Mel Blount, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Ernie Holmes. I mean, the list goes on. There were tons of players that made an impact on the defense, which is why my Pittsburgh Steeler is Franco Harris. Franco Harris, in my opinion, you said Bill Mazeroski has the greatest play in Pittsburgh sports history. I disagree. I think it's the Immaculate Reception. I think that could be the great, or you could argue, you can make an argument that the Immaculate Reception is the greatest play in sports history, period. You could make that argument, and I'm going to. Franco Harris, he went to Penn State. He's from New Jersey, but I think he embodies everything of what it means to be from Western and Central Pennsylvania. This guy went to Penn State, played for Joe Paterno, and then he comes to the Steelers. He was an 1,000-yard rusher, 7 of his first 8 seasons. I mean, this guy used to walk from his house in Pittsburgh to the stadium. What's more Pittsburgh than that? I mean, did Joe Green walk to the stadium? I don't know. Did Joe Green walk to the stadium?
Probably not.
You think the steel workers, the blue-collar steel workers that worked in this city, they walked from their houses to the steel mills. And that is why Franco Harris is my Steelers Mount Rushmore pick.
I mean, that's a pretty good argument there for Franco Harris. But, I mean, you act like there weren't players on that offense that made that offense.
I mean, this is
go.
true. I mean,
Terry
Bradshaw,
Bradshaw,
Stallworth, Bradshaw, but I mean, that doesn't happen without a good running back, man. And he's from Penn State. We are.
Hold on. I said this before. Penn State is not Pittsburgh. That's not the same thing.
But I believe
there's a college in Pittsburgh that has multiple players that would be deserving to be on here.
I believe that just adds on to his whole allure of being the Steelers Mount Rushmore pick because he went to Penn State and played for the Steelers. I think that's perfect.
What's perfect is going to Pitt and playing for the Steelers. I know it didn't work out with the quarterback they drafted a few years ago.
You remember that? Yeah, that guy named Pickett.
We are forgetting the fact. No offense to Franco. He left the Steelers. He went to Seattle. He wasn't a Steeler for his entire career.
Thank you, Brady.
Unlike Mean Joe. Mean Joe was here for 13 years.
Okay,
Franco, and obviously, no offense to Franco Harris. I mean, I have a Franco Harris jersey.
Yeah.
He wasn't a Steeler for his entire career.
You know who else was a Steeler their entire career for a longer period than Mean Joe Green? Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh,
18 seasons. Not even close that he's the franchise leader in all the major passing stats. One of the top 5 in NFL history in the major passing stats, fourth quarter comebacks. You want to talk about, I know that he's from Ohio. He said it, he wanted to be drafted by the Cleveland Browns, but he came to Pittsburgh and he won over a city for 18 years. I mean, you ask anybody in Pittsburgh that's a Steelers fan, who's your favorite player if you were born before, or you were born after the year 2000? If they're not saying Ben Roethlisberger, they're wrong. They're entirely wrong. He fathered almost an entire generation of Steelers fans, including myself. It has to be Ben Roethlisberger. It has to be the guy who played for 18 years at the most important position on the field and dominated the league. I know that I'm getting disagreements because I'm the only person that
If you're going to say it's Roethlisberger, then why not Bradshaw? Why not Bradshaw?
Because Bradshaw wasn't as good statistically. He didn't have as much of an impact on that team.
Yeah, but he won 4
as Ben
Super Bowls,
Roethlisberger
and so did Franco Harris.
Did Bradshaw have
and so did Joe Green,
Got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 70s, all within 10 years.
I'm going to end this by saying Bradshaw did not have a moment that could even hold a candle to Ben Roethlisberger's comeback in the Super Bowl against the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to have to do it. We're out of time here on Plead Your Case. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned on our WCTV social media platforms and YouTube page for more Waynesburg content.